Welcome back to AWD Arm Wrestling Dom. Of course, I'm Dom, and it's all things arm wrestling. Got a sweet episode. We talk with BJ Fokakis out of Petal, Mississippi. We talk a little bit about Colorado State and turnout there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you don't mind. All right, let's do it. BJ Fokakis, got you on the show today. I appreciate you coming on. Before we chat, I just want to give the audience a little bit of your background. In my opinion, for what it's worth, you're probably one of the top 20 heavyweights out there, and soon to be in the top 10. You've been pulling with some of the biggest names out there. I've seen several YouTube videos of you pulling with Mike Aiello, Wayne Withers, Paul Passmore, and you're down there in Petal, Mississippi. And I know you're part of the Mississippi Arm Fighter Group, and you've been working out with Sean Hancock and a few other guys down there, and you're doing really, really good things. Of course, today we'll get into, the Colorado State tourney. I was there, and I met you and talked to you for a few minutes, and there was over 120 entries, so it was a pretty good turnout. And before we jump into that and what you did there, I just want to introduce you to the show, welcome you in, and before I forget, tell me a little bit, about your background.
Yeah, all right. Well, a little bit about me and how I kind of got into arm wrestling. A couple of buddies of mine, Eric Graham, a buddy of mine that trains MMA guys here in Petal. Saw he went to a state championship, arm wrestling championship up at Jackson, and I was extremely interested in that. And once he got back, I was like, I don't know anything about arm wrestling, but, I've always been good, in the lunchroom and, things like that. I'd love to come to a practice. Well, a couple of weeks went by, and I didn't hear anything from him, so I was eager to learn. So I sent him another message. I'm like, hey, man, so I haven't heard anything from you. I didn't know how often people practiced or anything like that. And at the time, they were only doing it, once every month and a half or something like that. Since then it's changed. We do it every 2 weeks. But so I went to the practice. There's 10 or 12 guys there who had all been to a practice or something before, and I didn't win a match with anybody. I was the biggest guy there, and I was losing to guys that were 150, and I was just amazed by how technical the sport was and never knew that. So
hold on, BJ. What, not to interrupt, but what year was that?
That was, let's see, that would have been 16.
16, okay. Wow, man, you haven't even been in that long. Okay, wow.
No, not very long. So we do all the, we hang out for a couple of hours. Well, the next day, my left arm, which I only pulled with a couple of times, was killing me to where I Googled it, and it made it seem like I was having a heart attack. So, of course, I went to the doctor just to make sure I wasn't, because I'm a big guy, and he told me that was just my tendons and ligaments stretching further than they ever had. My body wasn't used to that. So, needless to say, 2 weeks later, I went to my first tournament. I set a goal for myself. I wanted to win one match. I ended up winning two, and from there I was addicted. I met some guys from Team Louisiana, and I saw how a team was supposed to be, and it was addicting from that point. So I started, going and training with guys in Louisiana. And, along the way, met a few guys over in Alabama, the Bishops and a few others, and, trained with, those guys before Mississippi turned into what it is. And I learned a lot along the way. You mentioned him earlier, Wayne Withers. He taught me a lot, as far as top rolling and things like that. And he and I would travel to the South and pulling tournaments down here. I was basically driving him around for him to win, and I could come in second at least to him, if not, worse than that. But that's kind of how I got started in the sport. And, from there it's just sprouted. My first year I went to over 30 tournaments, and I believe a lot in table time. So that's where I felt like I was learning the most. So I spent the time and the effort traveling all over the place to go do that. But that's definitely how I got into it.
Wow. Okay. So that's definitely exciting and good to hear. As far as first of all, you haven't been in that long, and then you were losing quite a few matches. I mean, I'm pretty new to the sport as well, and I'm just getting my ass handed to me basically.
It'll get better, I promise.
And as far as 30 tournaments in your first year, that's very impressive. I know we chatted, in person there at the Colorado State, and you had mentioned that you haven't really been hitting the weights that much.
No, I mean, and it's not something that's good, but I do tell people that all the time. And the reason I tell people that is because they, a lot of people feel like you have to, like I said, I went from never winning anything to doing pretty well now. And I haven't been to the weight room since I quit playing college baseball, and that was back in '07. So I haven't been to the gym consistently, we'll say more than twice in a week since '07. Now I do.
Wow.
I swear by. Well, John Brezink, whenever if you're gonna learn from anybody, I heard on a video I was watching when I first started. He said that he does push-ups and pull-ups and little things like that, but everything he felt like he learned the most from was table time. So
right.
I took that to heart, and I went to my second tournament Michael Todd was at. It was in Shreveport, and they had Captains of Crush hand grippers, and I bought a Captains of Crush 2, and I used it until I could hold the thing together for minutes. And I finally, now I've graduated to a 3, and that's what I do as far as strength training. That's it. I mean, table time, and I keep a Captains of Crush gripper on me or around me while I'm at work, and anytime I got a second, I try to knock out a quick 20, 25 or something, something like that. That's
wow.
it.
In watching you at Colorado State, you're super fast. As big as you are, your hit is your timing and hit is incredible. That just comes with just table time in general?
Definitely, because the first couple of tournaments I went to, I was terrified to think that another 6'5", 300-pound man going one direction and me going in the opposite direction, I thought it would tear all kind of stuff up. So along the way, definitely table time with that. And people ask me that all the time. Well, where do you get your speed? Where do you get your confidence to be quick? And it's just really doing it and realizing that you're not going to get hurt if you stay within the rules of arm wrestling. You stay in tight. You're keeping your hand inside your shoulder, things like that. You can be fast. And I mean, you talk about speed. There was a couple other guys there that you got to be impressed with speed-wise. Corey Miller and Isaac Luna, two of the fastest people I've ever seen on the table. Maybe besides a Daniel Mosier or something like that. But I mean, they're quick.
And speaking of Colorado State and Isaac and Corey, of course, you took first in 243, both left and right. You beat Fabian Collin, and there was a couple other guys, with Scott Dodd and Kenny Weave and a few other guys. I think Eric Wolf was in the 220s, I believe. I don't think he was in heavyweights. But you pulled just about every.
Leland Driggs, don't forget that guy. That guy's strong.
That's right, Leland Driggs. Yeah, you guys had a great matchup. I think you got him on the right. You got you on the left, maybe, or
yeah, I got him on the right quick. On the left, I hit him hard, but he pulled me right back over like I was a kid.
Yeah, Leland looked like a beast. I mean, that was the first time I got to see him, which I was excited to see him pull. And then, of course, the most exciting matches were with you, Corey, and Isaac. But by then, the videos, I mean, I think everybody saw the video there. You were probably gassed out from just going back to back to back. But his speed, I mean, it was a slip, that first hit. But Corey
I failed. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I even told him after I did it, I said, yep, I failed. Well, he and the referee, I'm not sure the referee's name, he's a good guy, but they were both laughing at me. And there's no doubt. I always heard he was fast, but, oh, man, fast and strong together, and the guy that small is unbelievable.
Isn't it incredible? It's almost like superhuman strength. I mean, it's
crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely something to look up to for sure, no doubt.
The only other guy, the smaller guy that is so strong like that I felt that I pulled personally is Craig Touye. And those two are just unbelievable fast and unbelievable strong for their size.
What's his last name again? Say that again, Chris.
Craig Touye, from Louisiana.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you said Chris. Okay, yeah, for sure. Okay. So Colorado State was good. Great tournament for you. You got to take both those titles back to Mississippi. And do you have any other tournaments coming up? I know there was Michael Todd. He has a tournament coming up. Are you on to that in November?
Well, the two that I had in mind, there's one 2 weeks from this past Saturday up in Tupelo, Mississippi, which is about 3.5 hours or so from me. That's an Anthony Laterio tournament. I like pulling with Anthony. His tournaments are always, they're always good tournaments, good awards, and, he brings out some good competition. And I believe 2 weeks after that in Atlanta, Georgia, is his national championship, and that's about 5.5 hours from me. That's the two that I plan on trying to make, if possible.
Gotcha.
Here in the next, couple months. But so that'll be three tournaments within 6 weeks that I've went to.
Yeah, that's a heavy load for sure. So, what's the next step? I mean, with going to all these tournaments as much as you are, what's the big thing that's on your list as far as crossing off?
Well, I definitely want to start, small. I've started taking a couple super matches with bigger names than me, just trying to see if I can ever sneak in a win on them. And Mr. Mike Aiello definitely put me in my place in St. Louis. I got one back on him in the tournament, but, we were both pretty tired after that, so I won't take any credit for that. But he came to Mississippi State, and I took his hands. I had his hand, but that's the difference in somebody, I believe, that goes to the gym and is just stronger than me. That's what I'll tell him straight up. He is just stronger than I. So I gotta get a win on one of those games. But as far as a next level tournament I want to go to, I want to go to the Arnold's. I've qualified for it twice, and I've never went. So I definitely want to go and test myself against some international type competition without having to go overseas. But a group of us had talked a little bit about a little TV deal that was going on. I don't really know much more about what's going on with that right now, so I can't really say much about it. But that could be a really cool opportunity if it ends up happening. And that's, just kind of a couple of things that I'm looking forward to over the next, we'll say, year and a half.
Gotcha. So no world tournaments. That'll probably be later on down the road. Yeah,
I definitely gotta get in the gym. Like I said, I haven't been a gym rat, but it's something to be able to compete with those guys over there. It's something I'm not going to go over there and think that I can just go there and beat a guy that lives to arm wrestle that's in the gym all the time. I'm not that stupid, but I would definitely like to feel some of those guys. And a lot of those try to come over to the Arnold's. That's kind of where I think I'll get my first touch of international pulling. But yeah, I would love to go overseas, but it would be another, I'd say, at least 2 years.
Gotcha. Yeah, if you go to the Arnold Classic, that's in, March, I think?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll see you there, and I'm definitely going to make plans on going. Just the last couple of questions here. Favorite arm wrestler all time? Who you got?
Oh, man, I got to go with BJ, just because whenever I first learned him, I watched so many videos on him.
He's the best. I think he is the best for the sport as far as getting attention. I mean, I love his, he's just cracking jokes. I love it.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He's good. Deep down, he's a good guy. He'll take care of you. He'll go to bat for whoever.
Oh, yeah.
And then for the guys just starting out, you kind of covered it already, but anybody just starting out in the sport, as far as training, you're going to recommend table every time, just getting table time.
Every time, because, you can always work on strength. I guess my whole thing with the table time and technique, I was so worried on technique because I didn't want to break my arm. So once I started learning the technique, I kind of got addicted to the minute little things into the technique that I really think, angles and inches, make you so much better. Don't get me wrong, strength is amazing. But I think if you know those angles and, where your elbow needs to be, your hand placement, I think just makes a lot bigger, deal to me in the match. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I'll never take anything away from strength, but I think technique trumps strength in this sport. That's just me.
Awesome. BJ Fokakis, man, I appreciate you coming on the show. Everybody listening, check him out on YouTube. There's dozens of videos of him pulling with some of the biggest names. BJ Fokakis, you can find him on Facebook. And then any other plugins that you wanted to mention, BJ?
No, just Mississippi Arm Fighter. And if you haven't heard about Team Mississippi, I promise the next couple of years you're going to. And, of course, Coney Island Cafe. Coney Island Cafe, Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Got it. All right, BJ, I appreciate you coming on, man. Good chatting with you.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
All right, you too.